Asking Alexandria guitarist Ben Bruce has announced that he's leaving the band he founded back in 2006 when he was living in Dubai. A few short years after their formation, Asking Alexandria became one of the most buzzworthy bands in rock. They're still a very big group to this day, and I expect that to continue. Of course, the other members of the band, very talented. They have a great frontman in Danny Worsnop, but Ben Bruce was no doubt an integral part of this band, an important part of this group, and he is going to be stepping away, departing the band, and I think that many of you will understand his reasons for leaving. Now, Asking Alexandria is a group that's had some membership changes over the years. They've had a bit of a tumultuous history, but over the last several years, they've really been a very stable band, and that's going to continue, but they're going to feel this loss. The fans are going to feel this loss when you look at someone like Ben Bruce and what his contributions have been to the band. All the way back to 2006 when they formed in Dubai. It's an interesting story. I didn't actually know this until I looked into it, but as a teenager, he really started the band at around 17, and he's living in Dubai, and he ultimately decides to move back to the UK so that he can have a better shot at making it in the music industry. Apparently, he felt it wasn't possible to kind of reach big heights in the music industry while living in Dubai. And also, when Ben formed the group, they had a completely different lineup than that lineup that they had in 2008. So he really kind of put the foundation in place, and then you bring in your Danny Worsnop, and he really captivated the fans. And they had this kind of modern vibe of a Motley Crue, so to speak. They were kind of notorious for really wild partying, and now you have Ben Bruce clearly in a different season in his life, and I think the fans will totally understand. Although they're a little disappointed, they want to see him continue on. Now, this is not the first shakeup in the history of Asking Alexandria. Back in 2015, Danny Worsnop announced that he was leaving the group, and he had started a new band that he was going to be focusing on entirely called We Are Harlot. They brought in Dennis Stoff into Asking Alexandria. That was a whole thing. And shortly after that departure, Ben Bruce was actually asked about Danny Worsnop, and he said that he kind of felt abandoned by him at that time. He wasn't trying to do screaming vocals or make really heavy music. And, he returned several years later after that one record they did with Dennis Stoff, and they picked right back up. They released several really good albums together, including their most latest one called Where Do We Go From Here? And the title of that album, Where Do We Go From Here, their latest release, really alluded to what was to come in the world of Asking Alexandria, because Ben had informed the group that he wasn't going to be touring anymore for reasons I'll get into. And so they had to make a decision. How is the band going to carry forward? Ben did press on the record. He did promote it in interviews, but he hasn't performed with them live on this album cycle. At the time, Danny Worsnop spoke to Guitar Interactive and kind of expounded upon the meaning of that record. The title of it, Where Do We Go From Here? He said, I think it's an internal question we have all had from time to time, especially for musicians, and especially ones who've been doing it for 15 years. There's always the what's next. We kind of pass through a generation. The industry's different, the world's different, and we got to figure out how the hell is this thing working now? And so now let's go to what Ben Bruce had to say in the statement. He shared a picture on his Instagram story. So let's just jump over and take a look at exactly what he had to say here about this situation. He wrote, "To my amazing AA family, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone for the years of love and support. It means more to me than you can imagine. I've spent my entire life dedicated to music. It's been my first love since about the age of 2, and the journey I've been on has been absolutely incredible. And as I've grown older, my life has inevitably changed. I've come to realize how precious time is. The time I have spent with all of you has been the time of my life, but now it's time to dedicate my life to my family. On top of my family medical situations, leaving my children means missing out on too many important moments in their lives. It's so important for me to be there for them as they grow, and to be here for my family as they need me to be, which means after a lot of thought, I'll be stepping away from Asking Alexandria. Thank you to everyone who has come and seen me play live and listened to the songs I've written over the years. The memories will live on in my heart forever. I truly love you all so much, and thanks for the years of support you've given me and Asking Alexandria. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. When you look at that message, it seems perfectly understandable that that's why he's going to step back. It's no consolation for the fans who are understandably disappointed, but I think they understand at the end of the day that how can you fault him for doing that? And he has given so much of his life to being in Asking Alexandria, touring around the world. And I got to tell you, I can't really speak to this because I have never traveled at the level. I travel a good bit, but nowhere close to what a full-time touring musician would do. But I talk to a lot of them. I know a lot of them. And one recurring thing you hear is that it is very hard, extremely hard to be away from their family. It's something that any musician that has kids struggles with. It's a challenge. And so for him, he is just making the decision to be with his family full time. And I got to say, I totally respect that and understand where he's coming from. So, hey, congrats to Ben on an amazing career with Asking Alexandria. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next with Asking Alexandria as well. I think Danny Worsnop is a great front man. I think I'm going to have him on the podcast at some point. Nothing but respect for all those guys. And if you haven't seen them, they have a tour coming up as well. Let's put those dates up on the screen. All right, so this is the All My Friends tour, which was just announced, and it's kicking off on April 12th. It features Memphis Mayfire supporting Asking Alexandria, The Word Alive, and Nerve. Kicking off in San Antonio, Texas, April 12th. Going to Houston, going to New Orleans, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Tampa, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Richmond, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, Silver Spring, Maryland, Massachusetts, Harrisburg, PA, Pennsylvania again, Columbus, Ohio, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, St. Paul, Omaha, Denver. A lot of touring, as you can see, and I'm just going to keep going on through the dates. And it wraps up on May 18th. So, I mean, as you can see, that is a busy schedule for 2024, so it's understandable. But all the best to Ben Bruce, all the best to all these guys in the band, and I'm definitely going to go see them on this tour. But that's your latest update from Rockfeed. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Hit that subscribe button if you would with notifications on, and we'll see you on the next Rockfeed news video.